Namaste and hello everyone. As promised, I am going to be speaking about Pluto now. At one time, Pluto was thought to be the planet that ended the limits of our solar system. It was also considered to be the planet that marked the end of life, with astrologers associating it with death and destruction and something malefic to abhor. We now know this is not the case, both astronomically as well as astrologically. Now, Pluto is elevated in stature to be recognized not as a planet merely delineating endings and death, but as a gatekeeper and escort into deeper levels of self empowerment. Pluto maintains its eminence associated with nuclear power. But he implores us to realize this nucleus of power which is within ourselves, rather than it being something to acquire through dominance and control over others or your resources, or worse yet, by judging and condemning others. Until realized, Pluto will continue to deconstruct immature and be self destructive behavior patterns and your attitudes that limit us from awakening to the power within. Pluto teaches us to look within self rather than outside of self. To find our nuclear core of creative force, we need to look into our natal charts where the Pluto was placed. Now, Pluto then teaches us to demonstrate the use of that force in ways that empower others and that awaken ourselves to new vistas of human potential, conscious awareness, and experiences waiting to be realized. Pluto can be thought of as a transpersonal version of Mars, thus exemplifying how we apply a creative power or initiative with consideration for its effect in the development of our self awareness and its effect in the world at large. Now, either we manifest a metamorphic change or we make passage from incarnate life, as Pluto is the gatekeeper to transcendent realms of our consciousness. Pluto ensures we grow in accord with our sole purpose on earth or move on. That's one of the reasons in my natal chart, I always help my clients to know what is their sole purpose on this earth, what is their destiny on this earth. Now, Pluto manifests metamorphosis through personal attainment in the material world, and in so doing, affecting progressive growth in the mundane world. Now, co ruling Scorpio with Mars, Pluto manifests as the metamorphosis of our creative power into transpersonal awareness. And in so doing, affecting the progressive growth in collective consciousness. Now, this was the planet Pluto all about. Now I'm going to go further ahead and speak about the Pluto in various houses. So, Pluto in the first house means what are the key facts about its effect on your life and personality? This placement of Pluto wants you to be vigilant and make use of your heightened awareness. This doesn't mean that you need to be serious all the time, but in fact, you can have your fun and enjoy your awareness and the intuitiveness. Those born with Pluto in the first house of their birth chart are very intuitive and very intense in the sense that they're searching for the truth, whatever form it may take. As such, don't even think about deceiving or lying. It's not going to fly for too long because they'll quickly discover your subterfuges. Now, what's a summary of people whose Pluto is in the first house? Well, the strengths are they're very charming, very warm hearted, and observant. What are the challenges? They can be aloof, moody, and suspicious. So, what is the advice? They need to relax more and simply go with the flow. Trust your intuitions. Pluto in the second house, the key facts about its effect on your life and personality. Well, this placement of Pluto encourages people to adopt a rather business like approach to everything they do, and they hate wasting any time. Pluto is a strange planet indeed, and more than that, it's a very difficult and complex one as well. The natives born with Pluto in the second house will experience a lot of emotional distress and traits similar to a personality disorder. The emotions are taken to an extreme. Their appreciations and passions change by the minute. It's like they're a completely different person. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. Generally, money plays a major part in their vision for the future. It's either idolized as the most important thing in the world or completely ignored for being just a piece of paper. So, Pluto in the second house, the summary is the strengths are being observant, confident, and ambitious. The challenges are again being moody, speculative, and extravagant. Shouldn't let yourself be driven just by money. Now, Pluto in the third house. The key facts about its effect on your life and personality. Well, this placement of Pluto makes people want to solve mysteries, to increase their knowledge, and to expand their minds. All of this against the normal flow of society. Pluto in the third house is responsible with how one communicates, how the sharing of ideas go through in a harmonious and responsible way. Their social relationships are usually very good and efficient because of this talent for communications. Of course, things could go haywire instantly without any apparent reason just because their planet has sent too many negative vibes. So the summary is the strengths are they become witty, curious, and enthusiastic. The challenges are impulsive, stubborn, indecisive, and sometimes a dark humor too. So the advice is you need to be careful with the risks you take. Now, Pluto in the fourth house, the key facts that are affecting your life and personality are that this placement of Pluto encourages people to strive to create a safe environment for themselves and their loved ones and to care a lot about their image. In the fourth house, the Pluto is responsible for new beginnings, fresh starts, the rebirth from chaos and destruction. Moreover, it has to do with one's search for an identity and finding a refuge at home. The familiar environment will recharge their batteries and prepare them for what's coming next. So, instill in them fresh powers, intensity, and passion. So, for you, the strengths will be very mature, pragmatic, and determined. The challenges will be secretive, vain, and controlling. So, the advice would be you should refrain from hiding behind others' wishes. Do your own thing, be intuitive, and do things in a balanced way. So, Pluto in the sixth house. This placement of Pluto makes people care a lot about having some balance in their lives between their need for introspection and the desire to be social and outgoing. Those born with Pluto in the sixth house of their birth chart are exceptionally dedicated to their work, putting in a lot of effort to achieve the best results. With passion and intensity, they will finish what they have to do. All the responsibilities and obligations, they may do it after taking some overtime as well, but finish they will. And let's not forget that they are naturally predisposed to work with people, maybe at shelters for the poor, volunteering humanitarian actions in general, which is brilliant. Now, the summary, the strengths of the people who have Pluto in the sixth house is they're observant, firm, and hardworking. The challenges that they have to face in life are anxious, conflicting, and criticizing. So, the advice for you is you should refrain from being too competitive with those you're close to. Pluto in the seventh house, how it affects your life and personality? Well, this placement of Pluto makes you crave deep emotions and to display a sense of responsibility that is rarely seen, plus to lead your lives by your own very specific views and values. Those born with Pluto in the seventh house of their birth chart are connected to the concept of a good family, a close and loving atmosphere at home. Relationships are specially emphasized here. After all, they want to fulfill their sense of belonging as well. If it's affection and intense emotions that drive them, everything is good and the prospects are for a long standing relationships. Relationships can really, really blossom. Now, the Pluto, the summary is the strengths for you when the Pluto is in the seventh house are intuitive, empathetic, and strong willed. But what are the challenges? Being aggressive, conflictual, and distrusting. So, what's the advice for you? Well, you should allow yourself to express your emotions freely. Now, Pluto in the eighth house, how it's affecting your life and personality. This placement of Pluto makes people very self aware and conscious of their own limitations and flaws, but also loving and devoted in the bargain. Those who are born with Pluto in the eighth house of their birth chart have a certain flair for seeing what others cannot see, for spotting the other side of the world, the hidden and the mysterious. This applies not only to their surroundings, but to be able to analyze and make deductions. You can also intuitively perceive what other people think. So, the summary for you is that the strengths are you're very sensual, attractive, and understanding. Make use of it. The challenges are you can be conflictual, judgmental, and possessive. So, the advice for you is you need to be careful about the things that you developed obsession about. Now, Pluto in the ninth house, the key facts that are affecting your life and personality is this placement of Pluto makes people strive to always be perfect, to achieve better results with each attempt and capitalize on their advantages. You can be extreme and rigid in your outlook in the sense that it's either going to go down your way or no way at all. You don't accept any compromises at all. And you can be damn sure that they have the arguments and knowledge to argue the logic of their ideas. These natives want to find out the truth of this world, to explore and accumulate knowledge, to engage in debates, and to defend their beliefs with near zealotic aggressiveness. So the strengths become curious, profound, and creative. But what are the challenges? Self absorbed, sloppy, and criticizing. So, what's the advice? You should aspire to higher ideals. Now, Pluto in the 10th house, the key facts that are affecting your life and personality. This placement of Pluto makes people benefit from razor sharp focus and become determined in overcoming any narrow minded beliefs of those around you. Be your own master. Do things what you feel are the best for you. And intuitively, when you think that what you're doing is right, that's the best. For those born with Pluto in the 10th house of their birth chart, they're always focused on their career, advancing up the social ladder, polishing their skills, and getting better and better results at work. You can devise well defined goals, plan out ahead of time, and strategize, taking into consideration any possible dangers, and follow through with unshakable confidence, resilience, ambitions, and grit. You must do your research a lot, gain the necessary knowledge, and know how to make your life a paradise. The summary again, that is the strengths of Pluto in 10th house: creative, firm, and visionary. The challenges are you can be manipulative, disrespectful, and complex. So, the advice for you is you need to learn how to talk and communicate effectively with different kinds of people. Now, Pluto in the 11th house. The key facts about this, which is affecting your life and personality. This placement of Pluto makes you exceptionally devoted to those dear to you, and not only the ones who are close to you, but the people at large. And you're ready to throw in a helping hand whenever needed to whosoever needs it. Those born with Pluto in the 11th house of their birth chart are at the very extremes in terms of emotional stability. They will rage and wreak havoc on anyone who dares to go against them. And when confronted with difficult situations that demand a calm approach, they will take out the sword and walk through the rivers of blood. Grudges mostly are the way these people sink themselves in the swamp. So be careful, don't keep any grudges with anybody. Just forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. So the strengths become you are responsible, kind, and caring. Your challenges are dismissive, opportunistic, and stubborn. You should strive towards being objective, not judgmental. Now, Pluto in the 12th house, the key effects about its effect on your life and personality is that this placement of Pluto makes people very analytical and observant, managing to be the best judges of character out there. Those born with Pluto in the 12th house of their birth chart can't help themselves but try to resist being controlled or ordered around. Even more, if they consider their ideas and course of actions as being way more efficient and productive, they will stand firm no matter what. So, even with their friends, they will never accept a compromise. And if they feel oppressed or treated unjustly, they will not take it lying down. It's because they are so very loyal and committed to a friendship that they have high expectations as well. So, for you, whose Pluto is in the 12th house, the strengths are observant, sociable, and wise. The challenges are overly sensitive, moody, and distracted. So, the advice for you is you shouldn't confuse your dreams with clarity of mind. With that, I come to an end of the Pluto in the 12 houses. Now, let me read out the questions that are saying, well, somebody's asked for the Pluto with Jupiter in 11th house. Jupiter, I've already spoken. Now, Pluto, I've spoken now about 11th house. So, if you've listened to me carefully, you can know your strengths and weakness through this. And the advice is given that even if it is a transit, take the advice seriously, because this is what the planet is asking you to imply it on yourself, and definitely you will be able to overcome the obstacles that you have in your mind. And remember this, because Pluto is a generational planet, so this advice goes a long way. Now, another one has said, now my date of birth is 19th August 1985. I'm sorry, I can't do the calculations now at ready hand because I require a pen and paper for that. But if you want to know about yourself, where your Pluto was placed or where your Jupiter or other planets are placed, you need to get into your natal chart or probably get one, please visit my website for it and probably we can help you out. Now, you are waiting for Pluto in 11th house. I've already spoken. Then we have you're born with a Pluto retrograde in the 12th house. Please explain what the retrograde does. Definitely, I will be explaining about the retrogrades also, which should be in my next video, maybe in another 2 days or 3 days or so. We will let you know about it because retrogrades have a different connotation. Only thing is that you must understand that when the retrogrades are there, your negatives are much more, I would say, they're much more pronounced. So listen to your strengths and the challenges that you need to face and the advice that you need to take. So the advices that I have given y'all can actually utilize it both when the planet is direct and both when the planet is going retrograde. Still more, a little less impactful, and the challenges become a little more heavier. So the advice for you sits well both the times. Now, once I speak about my Pluto retrograde in my coming videos, probably you will be able to understand it better. Then we have you always explain in a very adaptable way. Thank you very much. But at the same time, that's my, I would say, my USP, because I definitely believe, and not only through my own experience, but from my clients' experiences also over the past 4 decades, that planets are like a guideline to you. They send you cues, they actually send you indicators that this is what you need to do at this particular moment. I have spoken about Pluto very briefly at the moment, just giving you all hints about your strengths, challenges, and the advice. If you adhere to this, it'll be brilliant. But soon I'm coming out with my books also, which are going to help you know that what is it that this planet does, what are the energies it sends to an individual, and how you need to take care of those energies. Or when they talk about the planet being debilitated or ineffective or weak, or they use all this, in my astrological jargon, it is that ineffective, debilitated, or weak means that you are unaware of the strength of those planets. So please become aware of what the planets can do to you, and you start working towards it. You will overcome that very nicely. Now, take a look into your natal charts and be advised of how you can apply it in your life. Since I would be talking briefly about various planets in my forthcoming videos, it would do you good to get your natal charts made beforehand. Knowing your destiny and the challenges and pinnacle phases in life will help you better understand as to how you can apply the indications given by the planets. In the morning, I had spoken about the pink moon, which is due on the 7th of April, and its importance in our lives. In case if you've missed hearing it in the morning, you could visit my YouTube site and hear it from the library, because it's one of the biggest moon of the year 2020, and it has a lot of importance in our life. Do not forget to subscribe or visit my website www.dollymanghat.com, and stay tuned, because I am coming with my videos and utilizing this isolation time much more effectively, so that I can connect with you all and at least give you all hints and briefly talk about the planets, that how you can better your lives by taking the indications that these planets tend to bestow. Namaste for now. Catch up with you maybe day after tomorrow, same time. And good luck, stay safe, and God bless you all.